Sure. So let's get started. So today we'll talk about loops. Yesterday we saw that if you have to control the flow of execution, right? Like we took example of grade, we took example of
Yes.
length and
Area
breadth,
calculation.
right?
Yes.
Right. And if you do not want to follow a certain path, right? We know if you don't want to follow a linear path, basically, right? One after another, we could do using condition, right? On a given condition, we are executing set of operations. Now, let's say if you want to repeat a same statement multiple times, you want to repeat a statement multiple times, then what do we do? Okay. So if you want to repeat a statement multiple times, we use loops. Okay. So there are two types of loops. Okay. One is called for loop. Okay. I might write in capital, but it's all used in small. Okay. And then second type is while loop. Okay. Now difference between this and this while and for is that for loop needs exact count how many times you want to repeat, right? So if you want to repeat 10 times, 5 times, 20 times, if you know the how many times you need to repeat, we use for loop. So we can implement a program using for loop and while loop. Okay, same program we can implement. Okay, that's not a problem. We can use for loop where while loop is required. We can use while loop where for loop is required. But this is a difference, main difference. If you know the exact count of repetition, right? T-I-O-N. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Okay, don't worry about the spelling. So when you know the exact count of repetition, right? If you have to run it 10 times, 5 times, okay, we use loop, for loop. Here, while loop, you don't know the exact number of times, but you know on what condition, okay, till what condition you need to run. So while needs condition, while for needs exact count. Okay, so I always give this example. So let's say if you have to go to a university, let's say, and you ask me for the direction. Okay, there are two ways I can give you direction. One way I'll tell you, go in this direction for 5 kilometers. Okay, and you will see the university on the left hand side. Okay, so that's one way, right? Where I'm giving you exact distance, telling you go in this direction for 5 kilometers, and you will see on your left hand side. Okay, so that's one. That's like telling you. So you're repeating, right? I'm asking you to repeating, whether you're on bike or car or walking, you are repeating the movement of going. And I've told you how many times you have to repeat. So you have to repeat for 5 kilometers. So in this case, what we'll do is probably you look at the distance, right? The speedometer or distance, and you will keep driving straight. And when you reach 5 meters, you'll stop your car and you will see on your left. Okay, that's one way. Second way is I'll tell you, keep walking in this direction until you see a red big building on your left side, right? So I'm not telling you how many kilometers. Okay, I'm not telling you exact distance. I'm telling you a condition. Keep walking till you see a red building. So you'll keep walking, okay, until you arrive at a red building, isn't it? If you don't see a red building, again you'll take a step. If you don't see a red building, again you take a step forward, right? And when you see a red building on your left, that's when you will stop. So this condition is that a red building. Okay, so this is where while loop is used. So while loop will run the loop and check for the condition. Okay, condition is not met yet. So again you will run. Okay, so that's how we implement a repetition or execution of certain things multiple number of times. Okay, so let's say I want to print hello. Okay, so we will print hello 5 times. Okay, so let's say my objective is to write a program to print hello, okay, 5 times. And I'm going to do this using both for loop and while loop. See, so here you know exactly how many times you have to run, right? So for loop is the best way to do it, isn't it? But we'll implement same thing using while to see how it works. Okay, so let's first look at while. For. Now for, okay, if you have to use for loop, you use for keyword. Okay, so for keyword is the first word you have to use. Now, unlike your Java and C++, Okay, like in Java, say C++, for has a single syntax. What is syntax? The grammar, right? Grammar of programming language is called syntax. So, just like when we read any or when we learn any language, we have to learn grammar, isn't it? So syntax is the rules or the grammar of programming language. So if you look at Java, C++, for has a fixed syntax. But in Python, for does not have a fixed syntax. You can use for in multiple ways. We'll do it one today, and maybe while doing the string also, we'll do second type of for. Okay. So here, for, okay, has something called as a variable. Okay, you can define any variable. Okay, we have in operator. Okay, I'm telling you one way of implementing for, right? As we go along, right, we will learn different ways of implementing for. So the first or the most basic way of implementing for is this. You have a for keyword followed by a variable and in is an operator. Okay, just like plus, minus, into, division, and, or that we discussed yesterday. In is also an operator. Okay, and I'll tell you the purpose of in. So for var in range. Range is a function. So in fact, if you see here, for loop is made up of 4 different things. For keyword, variable, operator in, range function. And all these are independent of each other as well. So when you put them together, it acts for a for loop situation. Okay. So what does range do? Range is a function that will generate value. Okay? Range of values. Okay, that's how we assume or read at range. Range is a function, okay, that generates range of values. So from where to where? So I have to say from 0 to 5. Okay, it's not to 5, it's until 5. Okay, it doesn't go up to 5. It will go just before 5, it will stop. So if I say 0, starting value is always including. Okay, starting value is always including. Ending value is up to. It does not touch. Okay, so if I have to define this, it will be like start value, okay, equal to 0. Okay, end value less than 5. Less than 5, not less than equal to 5. Okay, and then we have third one. But how much should I increment? Increment. Okay, I can define increment value, comma 1. So increment by 1. Okay, so range 0, 5, 1 will generate values from 0 up to 5. Increment is 1. So first value that will be generated is 0. Then next value that will be generated is 0 plus 1. Okay, that is 1. Next, it will be 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 1, 5. No, because we are saying end is less than 5. So we'll stop at 4 itself. So 0, 5, 1 will generate value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, so 0 to 4 is 5 times, isn't it? And just like we had colon in for loop, we have to give colon here in for as well. Okay. So when I go and hit enter, you say print var. Okay. So what is var? Var is a variable. And what is the purpose of variable? I'm saying var in. Okay. So range will generate values from 0 to 4. Var in. Okay. So in will allow var to take value from the range. Okay. So var will take 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And for is making it to take one value at a time. Only one value will be assigned to var at a time. So if I run this, okay, it generates 0 to 5, 0 to 4 rather, and then it prints var. So now your value of var is 0. It prints 0, goes back, comes down, prints 1, 2, 3, 4, so on up to 4. So if I run it, okay, you see, it is going to print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and of course, indentation to indicate that print is inside for. Okay, so if I have to print something outside for, okay, I have to do it from here, isn't it? That's all or something like that. Okay, so this is going to be that's all is printing outside at the end, but print var is inside for. So as long as for loop is running, your print var will be printed, isn't it? And when the for loop ends, then the print var will stop getting printed. Okay, so this is how you can create for loop. Okay. Okay. Now, purpose was to print hello, isn't it? So instead of var, if I say hello, it will print it 5 times. Correct? Okay. So since for loop is running 5 times, whatever you do inside for, that will be executed 5 times. So I will get hello 5 times. Any question here?
No, sir.
You guys want to write it down? Okay, quickly.
Yes.
So, okay, this is how you can implement for loop. Okay, now how to implement while loop. Okay, now I just said while needs a condition. Okay, so while needs a condition here. So condition. Okay, so how do we implement it? So I'm going to think of a variable. Okay, to keep track of the number of count. The for loop has the ability to count, keep track by itself. Okay, will keep track things by itself. Okay, so so in while, okay, we have to do it manually. Okay, so we have to do manually in case of while. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to declare var equal to 0 here. Okay, and I'm going to say while var is less than 5, let's do this. Okay, so see, I've declared a variable var which is outside while loop. So the value of var is 0, and I'm saying while var less than 5. While var less than 5. So 0 is less than 5, true. So condition is true, that's when it will go inside while. Okay, if condition is true, only then it will go inside while. So now here you see var is 0, 0 is less than 5, of course. So it is going inside while, and when I run it, it will start printing hello. Okay, what happened? It went into a infinite loop.
Why, sir?
Yeah, think and tell me why. I give you a minute to think.
Here, increment is not given, no, sir.
Yeah, so see, the var is 0 and var remains 0. So while we'll check var 0 less than 5, yes. So goes inside, prints hello. Goes back again. 0 less than 5, yes, prints hello. Goes back again. 0 less than 5, yes. So var always remains 0, right? So I can click this red button to forcefully stop it. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll say var equal to var plus 1. So now you see what happens. Var is 0. Okay, it comes here, prints hello. Okay, so this hello is printed. Then checks var equal to var plus 1, 1. Var is now 1. Goes up. 1 is less than 5. Yes, 1 is less than 5. So second hello is printed. Now var becomes 1 plus 1, 2. Goes up. 2 is less than 5. Yes, prints hello. Third hello is printed. Comes here. Okay, 2 plus 1, 3. Goes up. 3 is less than 5. Yes, prints hello. Now 3 plus 1, 4. Okay, goes up. 4 less than 5. Yes, goes and prints hello. Now 4 is, the var is 4 plus 1, 5. Goes up. 5 less than 5? No, false. So this condition becomes false. So it goes out of while. So while ends. Okay, so this is how you can use while. Okay, so for next half an hour or so, let's focus on for loop. Okay, and then we'll come to while. Now here, Okay, so as I said, right, initially we'll talk about range, later we'll talk about other functions that can be used with for. Now range, there are three ways of running range. Okay, you can do 0, 5, 1, or you can write 0, 5. Okay, so sorry, if you have just two values here, see, three values means you have start, you have end, you have increment, correct? If you give only two values here, it means start equal to 0, end equal to less than 5, increment, default value is increment. Default value of increment is 1. So if you do not mention increment, it will automatically increase by 1. You don't have to tell it. Okay, okay, value will increment by 1 automatically. Okay, now you can even do range with one value. So if you're giving one value, it means default start is 0. Okay, so if you're giving one value, so that value is ending value. Okay, so starting value will take it as 0 automatically. Okay, and increment is taken as 1 automatically. If you give two values, it treats as start and end. Okay, and your increment is default by itself. Okay, now you cannot have range without any values. You have to give at least one value because there is no way to know what is the maximum value. Yeah, so range can have 1, 2, or 3 values. 3 values means start, end, and increment. 2 values means start and end. Increment by default is 1. 1 value means default start is 0, increment is 1, and that number represents the ending value. Okay, so what it means is you can change start, default, and increment value. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say I put 3, 12, 3. Okay, so how many times this loop will run?
3 times, sir.
Okay, so what was the value of var here?
Initially 0. Sorry, initially 3. And then next time it will be 6. Next time it will be 9.
Correct.
And
Okay.
the final 12 it is not supposed to take because it will be less than 12.
Correct. Okay. So if I say hello, and let's say I put var here, okay, and when you run it, you get, okay, this is before while, right? So I have to go scroll up. So 3, 6, 9. You get 3, you get 6, you get 9. So 3 times loop will run. Okay, great. Yes. Okay. So now let's do some program using for. Okay. So let's say, let me move this to our notes section, okay, so that we get fresh page to work on. Okay, so I wanted to write a program to print a star pattern, star. Okay, so write a program to print star. Okay, simple, isn't it? I'll say print star. If I print star, I'll be able to print a single star, correct? Now I want to print 5 stars. Okay, so I want to print, say star, okay, star, star, so on 5 times, right? So if it is single, I can print star, right? But if I have to do it 5 times, I can use loop. Instead of saying print star, print star, print star 5 times, okay, I can do for loop, okay, because for loop we know how many times to run. So I'm going to put for I, okay, in range 5, right? That means start from 0, increment of 1, and I'll say print star. Okay, so you see, I got 5 stars. You see the down output? Okay, now I want to print star in one single line. 5 stars. I want to print 5 stars, but one like this. How do I do that?
That end double quotes is there.
Okay. Yes. So I'll say comma and equal to, you can give a space. So remember, we discussed that print by default puts new line at the end of the program. Okay. So by default, it prints new line at the end. So when you have print multiple times, right? Yesterday, when it said, right, why should not we put the same? That's based on situation, right? Sometimes you may not have to, because here I cannot have, I have to have a different print statement, right? So if you want to print the output in a loop in the same line, I have to use AND. Okay. So what happens? The invisible /n, the new line, is replaced with space. So you have 1 star space. Again, loops run star space. Loop runs star space. Okay. Right. So this is how you can print star in the same line. Okay. Now I want to print 5-star pattern, 5, so I want to print something like this. Okay, so this, whatever we have written, prints star in a single line, right? Star pattern in a single line. I want to repeat this 5 times.
Nested for, like inside again we can go for another for loop.
Exactly. So the intention here is that, okay, whatever we have done, right? Whatever we have done here, okay, so this will print this pattern, right? So if I repeat this whole thing 5 times, I'll be able to repeat stars also 5 times, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yes. So this whole thing, I will repeat it 5 times. Okay, so this I will go inside J. So when you have loop inside a loop, okay, the outer loop runs first, then runs the inner loop. Inner loop will have to run completely before outer loop can reach. It's like, you say J is 0, then comes here I in range 5. So inner loop will run 5 times. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I completes, then goes back, J becomes 1. Again, I is 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again goes back, J is now 2. I is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again goes back, J is 3. Again, I becomes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again goes back, J becomes 4, so on, right? So this whole thing is going to give us 5 stars, and we have to repeat those 5 stars into 5 times. So this whole thing has gone into another loop. So this we call it as outer loop. Okay, this we call it as outer loop. This is our inner loop, and you can have any levels. Okay, inner. You can have multiple loops. Okay, so this is your outer, and this is your inner. Okay, done. Now when you run it, okay, what happens? It is all printed in same line. Yes.
Then we can go for /answer.
Okay. Okay. So see, the thing is, here we want to print stars in same line, right? So we need end. right? So that we want to replace that new line when you are printing in a single row. Okay, but when row is done, before printing the next row, okay,
Yes.
before you print the next row, we want to move to the next line.
Out of the inner loop, we can go for next line.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So empty print is enough because print already has new line, correct?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is not inside this, but outside, because inside we need to print star in a single row. So this is printing stars in a single row. Once we are done, now we are printing print, and this time what happens is before J is run second time. Okay. So J is running, J is 0. This whole thing is printed. Then this executes. Okay, then it goes back here, so on, right? So when you say print, okay, print will print a blank line. Okay, now you see we got the pattern that we wanted. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, okay, so let's have it here. Don't want to delete it. Now I want to have let's say, okay, first line I want to print only 1 star. Second line I want to print 2 star. Third line I want to print 3 star. Fourth line 4 star. Fifth line 5 stars. How can I do that? If it is first row, it is 1 star. Second row, 2 star. So see here, when you look at this program, inner loop prints the rows, the stars in the row. And outer loop only takes care of the rows, right? First row, second row, third row, so on.
Yes.
Right? So here also we have 5 rows, correct? And in the older program also we had 5 rows. The outer loop does not, we don't need to change the outer loop. Make sense? Because outer loop only takes care of number of rows. Give me a second, I'll drink some water. Yes. So outer loop takes care of the number of rows. How many rows? 5 rows. So here also we have 5 rows. So range equal to 5 is good. But inner range, inner value has to change. This will become 1 when it is 1. This should become 2 when the row is 2. This should become 3 when row is 3. That means when J is 0, I should become 1. So J0 means first row. So I should become 1. When J is 1, I should become 2. When J is 3, I should become 4. When J is 4, I should become 5. So I is related to J, isn't it? So J becomes, when J is 0, I should become J plus 1, right? So it's always J plus 1. Okay. So if I make this as J plus 1, it will work. J in first time J is 0. So I'm saying 0 plus 1, 1. Second time J is 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. Right? So now when I run it, you see, you have the pattern here. Okay. Better let me put it down, not up. Now tell me, I want to change this program, modify this program. I want to have 5 stars first. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same pattern, but I want inverse. I want 5 stars first, then 4 star, then 2 star, 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. What should I do? First row is 5. Second row should be 5 minus 1. Third row, 5 minus 2. Fourth row, 5 minus 4. Fourth row is 5 minus 3. Yeah. So see, j is going as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I say 5 minus 0, it will work because first time j is 0. 5 minus 0, 5. We want 5 stars. So it is 5. Second time, j is 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. Yes, we want 4 stars. Yes, you saw this? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll share this code. So don't worry, don't copy. Now I'll ask you to write a program. Okay. Write a program to input marks of 5 subjects and calculate total and average. So when I say 5 subjects, okay, so instead of saying input 5 times, I wanted to use only one input and put that in a loop. Try this. Okay, I've sent you on the chat also. So write a program to input 5 marks, but we are not inputting using 5 different input. We want only one input statement to read the 5 input marks. Okay, try and share the code with me. Okay, I'll take your code and I will, okay, if required, I'll correct it. Okay, you can share the code on the chat.
Yes, sir. I'm running it and I made a modification also. Average 5 into a by 5 can also be done. Instead of typing 5 is
5 into a by 5 is what?
Average of the 5 marks.
So 5 into slow. Don't rush. Okay. Think. Wait. Five into a, you are saying, correct?
Okay, yes. Sum, I need to sum.
5a by 5 is what? A only.
First, I need to sum it up. Yes, I understand.
Just because you gave same marks for A, right? 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, you got correct.
No. I run it with different marks. It's running.
It will not come correct.
Maybe it ran, but it might not be correct, sir.
Listen, Pujita, listen, what have you done here? Okay, see, when you say A equal to int, what is happening? You are entering 50 marks. Let's say first time you enter 50. 50 goes in A. Second time, the loop is this average is outside, isn't it? Average is outside, correct? So only this is running 5 times. So you'll have A equal to A equal to A equal to A equal to, and after the loop, you have only the last value. The first 4 value is gone.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Correct or not?
Yes, sir, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So somehow we have to catch the old values before it's lost. Somehow we have to catch the old value before it is lost, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So somehow we have to catch the old value. So how do you catch old values? We have to find sum, right? So right now we are using only it for finding sum, right? So what I can say is, I can say sum equal to 0, and then I will say here sum equal to sum plus a. Okay. So see, sum is 0. Now when first time loop is run, you will get sum equal to sum plus a. So sum is what? 0. 0 plus a is your marks. Now this is inside the loop, isn't it? So yes, next time when value is run, a is replaced with new value, but sum has your old a value. So now old value plus new a. Okay, so it's getting added. So because you cannot have sum outside, because you don't know, you'll have only one value outside the loop. You need to manage it using sum inside the loop. So now when you're outside of this loop, you have sum which has summation of all the a's, right? And directly you can say sum equal sum by 5. Okay, now it will work fine. Okay, now, okay, this is called cumulative sum. Okay, you are adding. So first you added 50, then you added 60, then you added 70. So sum is holding it. Now, one more thing here. When you are doing sum equal to sum plus a, I equal to I plus 1, right? So here you are adding a to the existing value. So what Python says is you can do a shortcut. Sum equal to sum plus a, you delete sum, okay, you delete the sum on the right side and interchange the sign. Okay. So if I equal to I plus 1, what will it become? You can write, okay, I equal to I plus 1, or you can even say I plus equal to 1. If you are saying j equal to j into k, right? J, so whatever is the left side, same thing you have on the right side also. In that case only we can use this shortcut formula. J equal to j into k. So we can say, what can we say? What will this become in shortcut? J, and your equal to star will be interchanged. So it will be star equal to k. Okay. So sum equal to sum plus a can be written as sum plus equal to, interchange the sign and delete the right side common variable. Sum equal to sum plus a, sum is repeated. So delete the right side sum and you interchange the sign. Plus equal to becomes, sorry, equal to plus becomes plus equal to. Okay. So we are saving the value of a into sum before the loop ends. So when we are done with the loop, your sum will have all the values from it. Okay. So now your average will have correct value. Now coming down, average is greater than 70. You said congratulations, good. But see, if this is false, okay, if let's say if average is not more than 70, let's say average is 65, 68, then it will not go here, it will come here. See, when you write if, else, right, only one of the conditions will be executed, not all. Okay, whichever is the first one to get executed, first matching, it will execute. So if you see here, if you get 65, then this is false. 65 is not greater than 70, correct? So if condition becomes false, it will come to elif. If you get 75, then this will print and you will be out of if. Okay, the rest of the if will not be executed. Okay, if you get 75, that means this condition is true. If this condition is true, it will print this and come out of if condition. Now, if this condition is false, then it will go to the next condition. Now, you do not have to check average less than 70 because this will come here only if average is less than 70.
Okay.
The condition your thinking is right, but the thing is, this will come to elif only if so it is not it is now it is it is less than 70. Only then it will come here. So you don't have to check for it.
Yes, sir. Okay? Yes.
Similarly, you don't have to check for this one. Okay, and you don't have to check for this one. Okay, only if average is less than 40, only it will go to else part.
Okay.
Okay, enter the box of subject. So I say 4, 4, 6, 6, 7, 9. Okay, so your average is. Okay, you're not printing average, but that's okay. You can print average as well, right? So I can say print average obtained equal to. Okay, so this is one. Now coming back here, okay, one more information we can add here is, now you're saying enter the marks is obtained in subject, okay, and same thing we are repeating. So, if you want to give something like subject 1, subject 2, we can give here. Now, problem here is we cannot give comma like the way we do in print. Print, we can say text, comma, number, comma, text, comma, number. But in input, we cannot say like that. So in input, what we have to say is, because input, it accepts one single string. Okay. So what we can say is enter marks obtained in subject. I'll close here and I'll use plus. Plus is sign to concatenate two string. So yesterday we saw plus to add two numbers. Okay. Now if you want to concatenate, if you want to add two string together, you want to put the string together. If you have hello plus morning, it becomes hello morning. Okay. So here I'm going to add the var here. Okay. So I'm saying enter marks obtained in subject var colon. Now the problem here is this is a string. This is an integer, right? Range will generate integer values. You cannot add string to integer. Okay, if I run it, you'll see the error. I cannot add string to integer. Okay, both has to be integer to add, to do the addition, or both has to be string to concatenate. So, okay, I can't convert this into integer and we want to concatenate, right? So we can convert this into string. So this is how you convert into string. If you say str of, you are forcing it to become string. Int of, you are forcing that to become integer, right? That's what we did here, right?
Yes.
We are forcing it to become integer. So now I'm forcing it to become string. I'm forcing var to become string. If you want to convert into float, float of. If you want to convert into boolean, bool of. If you convert into complex, complex of. Right? So since we cannot concatenate a number to a string, we have to convert number to string. So I'm saying str of var1. Okay, str of var1 and this. Oh, the problem here is var starting from 0, right? So it'll say subject 0 colon, subject 1 colon, right? So 0, it doesn't look good. So I'll say var plus 1. So now when I run it, it says enter marks obtained in subject 1. Okay, I'll say 89. Obtained subject 2, 7, 54, 45, okay, 66. So average is 64 and you have passed in first class. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yes, this is how you can use for low, okay, to do what is called as cumulative sum.
Sir, so that when you are converting that variable, integer variable into string, we need not give that in strings again. Directly, it will be concatenated to the first string.
Correct. Plus is used to concatenate here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, this is how you can use for loop. Now let's turn our attention towards while. Suvash, hi. So Suvash, this link will stop working from Monday. Okay. Okay. So now let's focus on our while loop. Okay. So what did we speak about while? When do we use while?
Until certain condition is met, when we need to perform certain task, we will use while loop.
Correct. So yes, while loop needs condition. Okay. So if only if condition is true, it will execute the statement. Okay. If condition is false, it will not execute the while statement. Okay. So what we said was, when we write while, okay, it has to have true here. Okay, and then we can say print. Okay. So in this case, it's printing hello forever because we have used condition as true, right? So this condition will always be true, and your print will always be executed. Okay. Now let's do something different. Let's try to print values from 1 to 10. Okay. Let's try to print values from 1 to 10. So I'll say 1, right? I equal to 1 because we want to print from I equal to 1, right? Now we have to print it till I is less than equal to 10, right? And here you will print I, right? So that's how we will be able to print 1 to 10. Okay, but what is the mistake here we did? Why it is still infinite loop? Because we are not increasing the value of I, right? We are saying y equal to 1 and y is less than 10, right? We have not increased the value of I. So we'll say I plus equal to 1. I plus equal to 1. And now when you run it, you get 1 to 10 here. Okay. But let's say I want to print 1 to 10 in one single line. Single line, and we have to remove that invisible new line which is there at the end of print. If I give comma, okay, now you will see 1 comma 2 comma 3, okay, it is printed. Okay, okay. Now let's say I want to print, okay, 1 till, okay, I want to keep on printing number, and I will stop when user says no. Okay, stop it, I don't want any more number. Okay, so in this case also, see, we don't know how many times. See here, this is classic case of for loop, isn't it? Because we know we have to print from 1 to 10, right? But now let's say that you have to print it till user says yes. You want to continue? Yes. You want to continue? Yes. So you print 1 and ask, do you want to continue? If user says yes, again you print. Okay. So I'm going to say I equal to 1 and I'm going to print I. And now I'm going to ask the user, okay, input. Do you want to continue? Y for yes. Okay. Do you want to continue? And press Y for yes. And let's say I assign this value to another variable called ch. Okay. Now, if user says anything other than small y, capital Y or small n or a, k, b, j, whatever, other than small y, the program should stop, isn't it? So what should we do? We can create, a variable here, ch equal to, and we can call it as y. Okay. And here I'm going to say while ch equal to y. Okay, so if ch is y, if it is true, get in. If ch is no longer y, get out, right? So now I can run this. So ch is y, that's why it has gone inside. Do you want to continue? Okay, Now, because of this and, it is printing in the same line. Let me stop and remove this and. Okay. Okay. So ch is equal to y, I equal to 1. It goes in, print I, because I is 1. It prints 1. Do you want to continue? I will say yes. Okay. Yes. So it comes here. I becomes I plus 1, which is 2. Okay. Goes up and checks, is ch equal to y? I have said y. So ch is equal to y. So it prints 2. Okay. Prints 3. And then if I want to stop it, I'll put any other character other than y. Even capital Y also, it will stop. So when I say y, I becomes I plus 1, which is 5 plus 1, 6. And then it will not go inside because see, this condition has become false. It goes up, checks the condition, it is false. So it will not go inside the while condition. Yes?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sure. So your while condition will become false. Your while condition will become false and you are not going to go inside while because condition is false, so you won't go. Okay. Now see, in such case where by default it is true, right? Because to get in, we have to say ch equal to y and then this condition becomes true. Okay. We have something called as break which to control the working of a loop. Okay. Same thing. Let's try to implement in a different manner. So I'm going to say here, ch. I'm going to, maybe remove ch. I will directly say true here. Okay. If I say true, it will go on forever, isn't it? Now, okay. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to check if ch equal to y. Then you say break. Break is a command, okay? In Python, break is a command that will break from the current loop. It will throw you out of the current loop. So I said while equal to while true. So while is true forever. Okay? It will keep on executing forever. But if ch for somehow becomes y, the break is called, and then it ends. So if I okay, I'll make ch equal to n here. Now in this case, you see, okay, I'm going to print this as first while. Okay, print first while, and here I'm going to say second while. Okay, so see, it prints first while and it did not go inside the condition. I mean, did not go inside the loop because the condition is false here. I said ch equal to n, right? Ch is not equal to y. Condition becomes false and it did not go inside while. So it prints first while and then it came back straight away, prints second while. Right? It makes second while. Then it goes inside. Okay, because while is true, it goes inside. Okay, it prints I. I is 1. So it prints I. Now it says, it's waiting for me to input. It's waiting for me to say, should I continue or not? Okay, if I say, okay, no, condition is wrong here because if ch equal to y, that's when I'm saying break. So do you want to continue? If I say yes, it will break because I said if ch equal to y, break. What I can do is to stop. Do you want to stop or do you want to stop? Then it makes sense. Y for yes, so I say yes. Or I can say y for continue and ch not equal to y. If ch not equal to y, then you break. If it is y, then don't break. Okay. So when I say don't continue, I'll say yes, 2, 3. And I want to stop now, I'll say anything other than small y, right? I'll say capital Y or capital T. Okay, it stopped. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is how you use while. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll do one program using while. Okay. And then we'll move to our next topic, which is string. Okay.
So please copy this code in chat, sir.
Yes, I have all the, I'm putting all the code. I'll put this in the chat as well. I'm putting all this code here and I will share with you all. Okay. So let's play a game. Okay. We'll play a game of guessing a number. Okay. So it's like you think of a number and I'm going to guess if number is what number you have guessed, right? So let's say if you thought about 10 and if I guess 10 correctly, I win, right? If I'm not able to guess correctly, then I lose, right? So let's play that game using computer. Okay. So to begin with, I'm going to add a number. So let's say the number, okay, is let's say 10. I'll make it a little bigger, let's say 40. Okay. Now I'm asking you to guess the number. Guess equal to int of input guess the number, right? Now, if guess is same as number, print congratulations, you guessed it right. Okay. Otherwise, you got it wrong. Okay, Subhash, I'll okay, just give me a second. I'll share the details. Okay. Okay, Subhash is asking for software. Guys, just give me a 1 minute. I'll share details with him.
Yes.
Then just give me. Okay, so I'm saying that if you so the number that to be guessed is 40, and if I guess 30, okay, you got it wrong, right? And if I guess it 40, then we got it right, correct? Okay, awesome. Now let's make it, we'll try to build on it. Okay, let's add complexity at every. This is how you actually do a real program. Okay, when you're at work, okay, you cannot write thousands of lines of code at the same time, right? You first write your 4 lines. Okay, slowly add complexity, slowly add features to it. Now you see these 4 lines of code will become 40 lines of code in some time. Okay, so keep on adding a little more complexity one by one, and it is important to check the functionality also, right? You don't want to write thousands lines of code and then you look at the functionality and it may or may not work, right? So you build it, test it, you build it, again test it, you build it, again you test it. It's a cyclical thing. So I have built this 4 line and have tested it. Okay, great, it works. So now let me add a little more complexity. One complexity is, so here, okay, if you get it right, it's not, you got it right. I mean, there's no other 2 ways about it. But when you get it wrong, okay, it should also tell you whether the number that you have to guess is higher or lower. The number that you have to guess is higher or lower. So if my guess, the number to guess is 40, and if I thought 30, it say that you have to guess a higher number. If I say 60, it should tell me you have to guess a lower number, right? That condition is there only in else, okay, not in if. So one option is you in the inside else you have one more if else, or I can create elif elif and else situation here. So I'm going to say elif, you got it wrong. Okay, so elif condition is if number is greater than guess. If number is greater than guess, you got it wrong. Okay, you have to guess a higher number, right? Because number is greater than guess, you have to guess a higher number. And in else, by default, okay, you have to guess a lower number, right? So if I have 40 and when I try to run it, guess the number, I say 60, let's say. You have to guess a lower number, right? Okay. So this is how now we have two conditions, lower or higher. Okay. Now let's add one more layer of complexity. I want to execute it till the user gets it right. So if you get it wrong, you want to again build, again execute it, again you execute it, again you execute it, right? So now here I don't know how many times you might take to guess a number, right? We might take 1 time or 100 times also to guess a number, right? So in this case, for loop is not a great option, because for loop we need to know how many times. We don't know how many times. Condition is that when you get it right, that's when you stop, right? When you guess equal to number, that's when we stop, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use while loop. While loop, because condition is required, right? So I'll make an infinite loop first. Okay, I'll make an infinite loop, and all these things should be inside while, right? So that means all these things you have to repeat multiple times. Number equal to 40 is 1, but guess, again, guess also has to be repeated. When you get it wrong, you have to guess again. When you get it wrong, you have to guess it again, correct? So you put guess inside this while, and now, okay, if you get it right, we have to stop it. Okay, so when guess equal to number, you got it right, and that's when we stop the game, right? So I'm going to say break. That's what we saw, right? Break. Now you got it wrong. Okay, and now when you say you got it wrong, it has to go back to the beginning of the loop, right? So I'm going to use what is called as continue. In this case, it doesn't make sense, okay? But let's say I had some statement here. Okay, I have some statement here. So if I don't put continue, okay, now let's run it. Guess the number 40, right? I'll guess 70. Okay, you got it wrong, and then it prints this some statement, right? Because that's part of the while, and it goes back and says guess the number, isn't it? I have to guess a lower number. So if I guess a lower number as 40, okay, you have guessed it right and stopped, right? So some statement is executed when you got it wrong. If you do not want to execute, you want to go back to the beginning. So whenever the program says continue, whenever you see the continue word, okay, the program stops working and it will take you back to the beginning of the loop. It will take you back to the beginning of the loop. Okay, so continue will take you beginning of the loop. So here also I'll put continue. This is not required here, but just to demonstrate the continue, I'm doing that. So now if I run this program, okay, guess the number, and I'm saying 50, you got it wrong. So see, you got it wrong and it went to the beginning of the loop. It did not execute some statement. Okay, and if I get it right, it will throw me out of the loop, saying you guessed it right, and then you are out. Okay, any questions so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, actually, when here if guess is double equals to number, automatically if we are inputting 40, that condition is satisfied, right?
Correct.
So obviously, it once the condition is satisfied, it will not go to elif or else, no, sir.
Correct.
And it will come out of the program, no?
How will it come out of the program? It will not go to elif else. But how will it come out of the program?
Okay, again it will be asking, yeah. Because it is while true is there. Okay.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay. Yes, sir. I got it.
Yeah. So many times while true is, you will see, okay, it's better to use while true and break based on the condition. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now let's add one more feature to it. I want to know, like, how many times did you take to guess the number? Okay. In how many attempts did you guess the number? So beginning, I'll say attempt equal to 0, right? And Kanash, you guessed it right. In so many attempts. Okay. So here I'll make this as a format string, and I put the variable here, attempt. Right. I'm going to use all the concepts that we have learned so far.
Yes, sir.
Right. So here, I want to insert the value in between the string. Okay. I can put a close quotation, comma, and close, right? But instead, what I'll do is I'll use f string here. In f string, you can put the variable within the text, but it has to be in flower bracket, right? That's what we have seen. So I put a flower bracket. Inside this, we have put attempt.
And the value should be incremented.
Yes. Attempt has to be incremented when every time you do guess, the attempt has to be incremented.
Yes.
Right? Every time you're guessing, you're playing a game, attempt has to be incremented. So I'm going to say attempt plus equal to 1. Right? Attempt equal to attempt plus 1. So that is a short way to write that is attempt plus equal to 1. Okay, great. Now let's run and see. So guess the number. Let's say guess the number 50. You got it wrong. You have to guess a lower number. So let me guess as 30. You got it wrong. You have to guess a higher number. Let me guess 40. Okay, congratulations. You guessed it right in 3 attempts. It's working fine. Right? First 50, 40, and then 30. We got it. Right? So it took me 3 attempts to guess. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we can build this game. Now, let's bring something more interesting to this game. We have written this program. We have said num equal to 40. So I know what num is, right? So, to play, I will use 30, 40, and whenever I want to stop the program, I'll say 40. But let's make it truly random. Okay. We'll make it truly random. Okay. Now, what does that mean? We need to create a random number. We want computer to think of the number, right? And we will play. We want computer to think of a number and we will play the game. Okay. We want to computer to think of the number. So we use a library called as random. Okay. We use a library called random, which will generate random number for us. Okay. So if I say here, how do you use a library? We use import random. Okay. Now see, when you install this python.exe is a very lightweight, small software, maybe 30-40 MB. Okay. But we discussed that you can use Python to do machine learning, data science, web, and all those blah 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 things. So many things we can do with Python. Then the Python file should be into GBs, isn't it? It should be very heavy that it has all these capabilities. So what Python says is, I'll give you the basic installation. Whenever you install, I'll give you the basic feature. I will not give you all the features. All the features are kept on the python.org. Whenever you need something new, okay, you need to pull it from there. You need to install it. You need to pull it. That way your program is not heavy. You don't have to download 5 GB of data, right? Maybe we'll be working only with machine learning. We'll be working with web, right? So Python doesn't know what we'll be working with. So it's okay, I don't know what you're working with. So I'm giving you this basic thing. If you want something more than basic, you download and use it. Okay. So there's an option to download. So when we do these pandas and other, matplotlib and machine learning, we will learn how to download and install and use it. Okay, great. Second thing, what it says, even in the basic installation, some information like some functions like print, type that we have used are part of your main program. And some functions like random operating, if you want to use command prompt, right? Operating system. Those commands are hidden, okay? Downloaded, but not attached to your program, because your program will become heavy then. Everything gets attached, the program will become heavy. So it says, okay, because these are things that you will use very often, I am giving it to you as a default installation, but you won't be able to use it unless you call for it. Okay? So here we have random. Random is something which is already installed, but not attached to our program. So to download and install, we have to use pip install. We'll see later. Now, when it is already downloaded and installed, to attach, we have to use import. Import is like, it is random is already there, but I want to import it for my use. Okay, so import random. Now, instead of number, I'll say random dot. Okay, random dot, and these are the functions rand, int, random. Okay, random dot random will generate a random value. Random value is always between 0 and 1. If I run this, you'll get 0.2, 0.3, anything. Our aim is not to think about the decimal values, but we want to think of integer values. So we have a function called random int, rand int. Rand int function of random, not of main Python. Random int belongs to random library, which is available only if you import random. So once you import random and you use random int, it takes two parameters, ending and last value. Okay, both are inclusive. So if I want to think of a number between 1 and 100, I will put in 1 and 100. So random int will generate a random number, random integer number between 1 and 100. Will generate a random integer number between 1 and 100. But we don't know which number Python has thought of. Okay, so now we know it is between 1 and 100, but we don't know what it is. Now the fun will start. Earlier we knew it was 40, right? So whenever I wanted to end, I could end it. Now I don't know what value is, right? So I'm going to guess the number. So I'm going to say 50. This is a real game, right? You don't know what the number is. So see what it says. You got it wrong. You have to guess a lower number. That means the number is less than 50. So let me put 25. Okay, you have to guess a higher number. That means the value is between 25 and 50. Between 25 and 50. I'm going to say 35. Okay, so I still have to guess a higher number. That is between 35 and 50 now. Let me make it 40. Okay, lower number. So it is between 35 and 43.
Yes.
Let me put 38. Higher number. It is 38 and 43. Put 40 now. You guessed it right in 6 attempts. So it still thought 40 only. So it took me 6 attempts.
Maybe memorize this, sir.
No. Let's try. See, you have to guess a higher number now.
Okay.
75. It's even higher. Let's say 80. Not 80. Let's say 90. Lower numbers. So between 75 and 90. 85. Higher. That means it is between 85 and 90. 88. 87. It was 87. It was 6 attempts. Guess it. Okay. We just made our first game. You can make this game.